Welcome to our first forum, How to Make Google and Google Plus Work for You. I'm Greg Washington, President of Patients Unlimited Marketing Consultants.
And I'm Kathy Watkins, Social Media Specialist at Patients Unlimited.
Okay, Kathy, let's kind of get moving here.
Sounds great, Greg.
All right. Well, Kathy, it seems like the train has left the station, is what we're trying to say in this particular little illustration. And now our job is to help our listeners and our watchers catch up with it. Kathy, the challenge that we're faced with is showing the folks that are participating in our forum how to catch up with their luggage after the train has left the station. And metaphorically, we're talking about their patients, because this movement that is taking place with Google and Facebook is real and it's happening now. We're going to start this series of forums with Google because that's really where the action is going to come from in terms of search engine optimization. And then we're going to move into the second forum, which will follow this, and we'll talk about Facebook's role and its new features and how it works. And then the final forum, we're going to actually show you things you need to do now with your support team. And your support team is composed of your ISP that hosts and does search engine optimization on your site, and also your staff. And we're going to make a big point about this because you've got some new jobs in front of you and you need some direction on how to do them. Making Google work for you and Google Plus work for you is not as simple as it looks, but with the proper guidance and direction that we plan to give you, the job will get easier. I think the first thing you want to ask yourself is, well, why should you make Google Plus an important thing? Why should you even make Google important in your marketing strategy? Well, the answer is somewhat intuitive, but I think we kind of lose sight of really what our real motivation should be. Well, let's look at this in the perspective that Google now accounts for 80% of all searches that are done. And in England, Google accounts for 90% of all searches that are done. So I think it's self-evident we need to make Google and Google Plus a priority in our marketing activities. And particularly when we consider that Google's original competition were some newspapers that are out of business, or magazines that are not getting the advertising dollars that they were getting, and radio and television. And Google's moving into that sector too. So we want to be sure we've incorporated this very important channel into our marketing strategies. Google's goal is to create one listing. With one listing, your business can now be found, seen on their products. That's their ultimate mission statement. So Google continues to subvert and quietly conquer the consumer's eyeballs, the consumer's ears, and the consumer's attention. Google Plus is something that Kathy's going to be giving you some more information on. This has kind of moved from a very subtle and added product in the Google product line to one of the most important. And as a matter of fact, Kathy, wouldn't you say that they either going to get on the train, get aboard, if they're going to succeed, or they're going to lose?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Greg.
It looks like that's what's going to happen. So if we take the Google search, which is the basis of how we lock in, we become addicted to Google. We thought we got something free. We're getting something free. They've got other products out there. They've got maps. They've got mobile applications. They've got Zygot Rating. They've got Friends and Advice, and many, many more different products that we bought into, or applications. Kathy, why don't you take it from here? Give them an overview of some of the things that have happened.
Now, what's behind the scenes? What's really going on in Google Zoo? What's causing a lot of these changes? Remember I mentioned Panda and the Penguin updates. So that's a lot of what's behind some of these changes that you're going to have to start connecting to. So let's take a look at these algorithms and what they really mean to you. Again, an algorithm, it's the rules. It's, what causes things to pop up higher or lower in the search engine. So when you put something in Google to search, for many, many years, the search results were keyword based, and you've probably heard that. You've probably heard about keywords for a long time. And about 5 years ago, it started changing, and the change has been gradual, but it's really come to the forefront now, and that is the understanding or the meaning behind those words, the meaning of the content on each individual website. Now, Google Panda's job. What was that job intended to be? Originally, what they wanted to do is lower the rank of low-quality sites and raise the rank of the higher quality sites. So, meaningful content, what works for people, what do people like, what would they +1, what would they publicly recommend. What happened with this is absolutely, it raised the rank of higher quality sites and it lowered the other, but it also brought about some copyright violations, and they started copying the information from those sites that were ranked higher and putting it in their own websites.
Well, Kathy, I might even add that we have noticed as we look at our client profile, we've been in this business for 18 years, and for the first time we've had really great rankings on sites that were relatively dormant. The content wasn't being maintained, and they've moved from the first page search results for certain topics to as low as the third and fourth page, and it happened like overnight. And there are some pages that just immediately lost rank, and of course we corrected it. And there are diagnostic tools that we have at our disposal where we can go in and actually examine at one time the status of all of the pages' rank against keywords. But this is real. This is a very real thing, and it's happening, and it's requiring that the business owner, the business has to take a more active role in helping the search engine optimization team that is external to the practice do its job properly. I'm Greg Washington, President of Patients Unlimited Marketing Consultants.
And I'm Kathy Watkins, Social Media Specialist at Patients Unlimited.
Call us today. We're prepared to help you.
Absolutely, Greg, because you've got to get your meaningful content out there, and it has to meet the Panda regulations, the Penguin regulations, the Google quality guidelines. It's important that you know what those are and that you know how to make sure that you are meeting those. Now let's look at the Google Penguin's job. What's going on there? Well, Google Penguin came through to stop these backlink schemes, to stop these comments and spamming, and to protect content. So now it's important that you establish content ownership.
I'm Greg Washington, President of Patients Unlimited Marketing Consultants.
And I'm Kathy Watkins, Social Media Specialist at Patients Unlimited.
With new features with this Google and Google Plus.
Okay, Greg. Lots of things are happening with Google. Google's Panda. And if you're not familiar with Panda, that's the rules that they put around how that website content is searched. So the rules, the algorithm is making a big impact on how your website is showing up. Google's Penguin has an impact on the website and those attributes as well. So again, where it's showing up, what kind of content do you have, all of this is really driving kind of behind the scenes what's happening in Google today. Now these algorithm changes aren't intended really to make it difficult for you. They're intended to improve the quality of the sites so that when it shows up, when a site shows up high in the search engine, it has excellent quality. It's what people want to read. So that's the whole idea behind this push for quality sites by Google. Now because of that, ratings and reviews have become much more important. Why are they more important? Because it's easier than ever, and we're going to take a look at this up close, but it's easier than ever for people to rate and offer reviews about your practice. So your patients are out there. People are looking, and it's easier than ever for them to find it. There are also a lot of issues now driven by Panda about duplicate content, so copyright information where you're pulling it from one site because it was high up, putting it in your site, so your website will rank higher. Now we've got to think about creating the content ownership because Google Penguin won't allow that any longer. And then there's also a major issue with the Google Plus icons. The Google Plus and the +1 icons, those are extremely important, and their functions are important, but lots of confusion surrounds those. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. And if you're not familiar with it, Google Places, and that was the page that showed up in search engines when someone searched and then they wanted to find the information for you, or they were on a map and they clicked to get more information, they went to Google Places. That has transitioned just at the end of June to Google Plus local pages. So a really, really big change, and that's going to mean better search positions from Google Plus, but you've got to get on board in order to make that happen. Now we talked about, there's a lot of confusion between the icons that you put on your website, the Google Plus icon and the +1 icon. Google Plus is intended to link back to your Google Plus business profile, the same way that a Facebook icon, a YouTube icon would link to your Facebook business page or your YouTube channel for your business. The +1 icon is intended to let people publicly recommend your website or just a little bit of content, blogs or a Google Plus post. So it's a way of showing that you like something. So think of that in relation to Facebook's like button. That's what those